Oh, it's so I was gonna take a photo, but it's a video. So just be still. That's what a photo would look like. It was time for Sun and Fun 2025, and since I beat the heck out of the Comanche last year building time, I'm being really picky about when I fly the plane this year. I've got some required maintenance coming up and I don't want to smack into it just yet. So what does that mean? It means this year I decided to hire a pilot to fly me to Florida. It wasn't easy, but I managed to track down an airplane and a couple of pilots that I felt could get me there safely. These guys were good. We were only delayed about 5 times for weather between Texas and Florida, but we finally got up and things were fine. There was some mild turbulence, but all in all, it was a pretty uneventful flight. So I went to Sun and Fun with the Gold Seal team, which is pretty cool. They put me up in an Airbnb, which is very cool since I'm a guy that generally picks hotels based on price alone. It also makes picking out my clothes every day quite a bit easier. First order of the day is to go get a group photo. All right, we are filming behind the scenes, getting our booth set up. Well, we got the V1 hats today. We got Reggie up on the plane. We've met him before. So, you having a good first Sun and Fun?
Yeah, we are, I think.
All right.
I don't know what to compare it to, so anything is better than not being here.
It wasn't this hot last year. That's the main thing. So every morning we start with a little Gold Seal duck, duck, goose. This is an incredibly fun and talented group of engineers and artists that design the programs and graphics for the Gold Seal instructional courses. By the way, that right there, that's how big the sun is in Florida. In Texas, it's way smaller. We've got a little sun, but in Florida, there's this huge, and it was almost unbearable this year. We were getting cooked out there all week. It was absolutely brutal. Once we got the group photo knocked out, it was time to make sure the booth was ready for the day. Gold Seal does a really good job at making this fun. We host a game show that pits pilots against one another in a battle of knowledge. It can draw a crowd, and the trash talk is a whole lot of fun. I would fly that. Once we were done setting up, I decided to walk the grounds, and I was immediately intercepted by an angry Mooney pilot.
It's good. How are you doing?
So we are going to do a podcast?
Do a little interview, yeah.
A little interview with Just Plain Radio. I bet we talk about Moonies a little bit.
I bet we're going to talk a lot about your attitude about Moonies.
All right, sounds good. Apparently a documentary I'd recently made that was factually accurate and every detail got the Mooney pilots fired up. Actually, that was Dennis from Just Plain Radio, who also happens to be a Mooney pilot. He pulled me into his interrogation booth and demanded an apology live on his radio show. All right, that's not exactly true, but he did give me a good ribbing for my most recent video about Al Mooney. You've probably heard it from me and anyone else that creates aviation content. These aviation events become less about aviation and more about the people you only get to see once or twice a year. Whether it's the Gold Seal team, my friends at Flying Eyes, or that one guy that lets me fly his Centurion from time to time, seeing familiar aviation faces is really what keeps a lot of us coming back. It goes without saying, the displays are amazing, the aerial demonstrations are loud and impressive, but the friendships are what makes it fun. Even friends that don't remember what your YouTube channel is called still make this thing a memorable and fun event. As always, the nighttime air show at these events is incredible. It seems every year they up their aviation, drone, and nuclear explosion game over the prior year. This year was no exception. I did a dedicated video to the night show that I'll link to in the description. So that was about it for Sun and Fun. It's a short video because I've done deep dives on these things before. Not a whole lot changes year over year, but I will share one story. I was walking the grounds and I see Trent Palmer under the wing of his new airplane. And I go over there and I talk to him. I said, "Hey man, it's great to finally meet you in person." He says, "Oh, we've met before." I was like, "No, I know we've done some things online together and crossed paths virtually, but we've never actually met in person." And he goes, No. He goes, "We met at Oshkosh once." He goes, "You were making videos and I wasn't. So I knew who you were. You just didn't know who I was." So, you know what? Hopefully that turns around. Hopefully he finds some success in this YouTube thing. I'm really pulling for him. But so anyway, that was kind of funny. It was Florida. So never in my life have I seen, I think this is an alligator. I think it's an alligator. But anyway, I've never seen one in the wild. And it kind of makes me terrified to think that they really do run around wild out there, like, I guess, kind of like coyotes in Texas. I don't ever want to come across an alligator in person that's not at a zoo. That's a scary freaking lizard. The experience getting home was pretty terrible. There's so much weather in between Florida and Dallas. that the plane kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. And so I'm actually looking at it and I see it's still on the ground in Texas and hadn't taken off yet. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is going to get canceled. So I start looking at hotels and Ubers, and we're in the middle of Tampa, and all the hotels are $180 a night. I'm like, man, I'll wait it out. The plane finally showed up around midnight, and when I woke up, we were just about to land. I think I walked in my front door about 3 a.m. So it was definitely a challenge getting out there. It was a challenge getting home. The heat out there was really, really rough, but all in all, it was a good time. My plane, for those who have been following, is airworthy again and flying. So I've got a couple of things that I'm queued up to go film. I've got a couple of fly-in events that I'm doing. And then, of course, Oshkosh is on the way. So you guys, thanks for watching. Fly smart, and I'll catch you in the next one.